Good afternoon and welcome to the Living Well program. You can find us here every Wednesday at 1 p.m. on KATB 89.3 in Anchorage as well as KJLP 88.9 in Palmer. You can also listen live online, katb.org. We also post our shows weekly on our Facebook page. Just look up at Living Well Radio, as well as you can find us on our podcast, which is available on iTunes if you want to pull up some of our previous recorded shows. We appreciate you joining us this lovely Wednesday. We have a wonderful show planned for you today.
A wonderful show.
We have this stranger in the studio today, don't we, today?
No, we're not going to. She's not a stranger. She brought us something to eat.
Everything but a stranger.
That's right.
Boy, when you asked this girl to bring you a snack, you are not getting French fries and a Frosty.
We had a good snack.
We are getting carrot sticks and celery with homemade ranch dip. Oh, my goodness.
And those cookies that I love.
That is exactly what I needed.
Hey, Cammie, are you doing a lot of baking right now?
Right now?
For
Yes,
holidays.
we are enjoying lots of baking. Super fun.
You know, last year, my daughters and I, we started getting together, and we did all of our baking together, and we did that again this year.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And I had sugar cookies for the grandkids, and they decorated them.
Oh, wow.
And
I bet they love that.
They did. And it was a lot of fun.
What a great tradition.
But I got matching aprons.
Oh, that just kicks it up a notch, doesn't it?
Well, they're not exactly matching, but everybody's had gingerbread on them, so it's really cute.
Oh,
it was a lot of fun.
Adorable. Did you get good pictures?
Of course.
Oh,
Of course.
what a great idea. You know, I think everybody spends a lot of time trying to innovate new traditions, and really just sticking with some of the old basics are the ones that the kids tend to remember and bring some of the funnest memories. Mm-hmm. That's good.
Very much so.
We had a lot of fun, so yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of baking, a lot of eating, a lot of sampling,
A lot of tasting.
trying new recipes. Yeah.
Palate pleasing.
Ooh, that's always scary, trying a new recipe.
It doesn't bother me at all.
No?
You're right, I'm a pro at failing. I've had many Pinterest fails.
Have you?
Yep, many.
I think they should have a whole separate site just for that.
I don't take any pictures, though, of those.
They just never turn out like the photo.
No, never.
It doesn't matter whether it's chicken or a cookie. It just is not.
Nope.
Not quite.
I've tried many.
Yeah.
And the
I
burnt
failed.
offerings go to the reindeer, right?
The burnt offerings, they go in the trash. I've had several of those, too. Several burnt offerings.
Oh, goodness sakes. Well, it wouldn't be Christmas without that going on, right?
That's right. We all just laugh and go on.
That's right. So we've got Cina joining us in the studio today.
Good afternoon, ladies.
Yes, there might be some men listening too. You never know.
Oh, okay. That's right.
Maybe the husbands that are forced to listen in with their wives.
That's right. That's right.
You never know.
Sharing that time in the car.
That's
Yes.
right. Yeah. So we brought Cina in today, and we just want to talk about a new, kind of a new little thing that she's put together and is offering under Alaska Christian Women's Ministry called Moments at My Table.
Yes.
Love the name. Draws you in, makes you want to know what in the world you're talking about. Like, who gathers at a table anymore? Which is exactly the point, right, Cina?
That's right. There's times that people wish they could, or let's make time, but they don't usually make time in reference spending time together at the table anymore. And we would like to get back to that in a fellowshipping type with a bunch of women coming together and sit down and just love on one another, learn how to cook a recipe, and share the Lord together.
I love the idea, and I love just the essence of traveling kind of through different women's homes and getting to learn the different aspects of what they kind of specialize in. And we just don't have enough of that anymore, of just sitting at a table with other women and conversating over new ideas and good food.
And I think, too, that maybe we can get stagnant of having the same people over and over and over.
Ooh, good point.
And don't open our doors to maybe the other lady in the church that would like to meet someone.
Or even your neighbor.
Or even your neighbor. That's right. So it doesn't take much. Just come over for dessert and show how to make a dessert, or come over for a meal. And it doesn't have to be that much. Or come over for some carrot sticks and dip.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. You know what I love about inviting Cina over?
There has to be many things.
She brings food with her. I don't have to put anything out. She just brings her magic. She's got a magic bag.
Is that
Everything
what it is?
is in
like a
it.
Mary Poppins.
Everything's in that bag.
That's a good friend to have.
I know. I know it. I love it.
And the carrots that she brought us today, she actually peeled and sliced them.
Can you believe it?
It wasn't those little ones.
She just sets too high of a standard. I don't even know what to do with it. And it's not ranch dip out of the bottle.
I know.
No.
Homemade.
It's the good stuff.
Amen.
The
I
good
love
stuff.
it. We love you, Kina.
Oh,
You're
good.
such a
And the
good
snack
friend.
was really good. We do really appreciate it.
Yes.
We were hungry.
Because I'm going on 2 16-ounce cups of coffee and very, very little nourishment. So who knows what's going to end up in this 30 minutes. But I'm doing better now that I've had my carrot sticks. So
Very good.
And your coffee's kicking in.
it's kicking in. That's right. So moments at my table. You've had a couple of them.
Yes.
Yes. Tell us a little bit about how that went. And
Well, Moments at My Table just started of women wanting to come together and learn how to cook items. We had our first kickoff in October, and it was learning how to make Filipino cuisine, lumpia and pancit. And we met at Gigi Campbell's home. She's a lovely lady. She just showed us how to make and roll the lumpia and also how to cook the pancit and different types of noodles, which I didn't understand. There was cornstarch as well as rice.
So she had 4 different kinds of noodles?
Yes, and showed us how to soak them and wait. But the meal was done within 30 minutes for us. And we learned how to roll the lumpia, and each of us got to
Bring
roll
some
and,
home.
and bring some home. And then from there, after she demonstrates the procedure or the way to go ahead and put your meal together, then we all head down to her table, and you only invite how many your table will hold. So it might be 1 month, 6 people at the table, or 8 or 10 or 12, however many your table can hold. And with hers, we all met at the table. We ate and fellowshiped together and just talked about life. And then the desire is to share your salvation testimony. And Gigi was able to share that with us, where she got saved at in the Philippines, how she came to America, how she became a United States citizen, and working here in Anchorage. So it was just a nice time, because I think we can see women in church, we can pass by, think she's got it all together, or who she is, and really maybe want to get to know a woman. And during this time, you can do that. You can sit down and really, oh, okay, she does that. This is how her house looks. Oh, wow, I didn't think that was the way her house would look. I don't know. Sometimes we can perceive in our mind and go so far in the future, and we haven't even stepped foot in somebody's home to really know about them.
mm-hmm.
Now, what Kina has done is she has put all this together, and I think she has a schedule made out through April or May for next year.
Yes.
This is not an event just for one particular church. The invitation is put on Alaska Christian Women's Facebook page. You can also go to the website and get all the information about it. But you do have to register for it.
Yes.
That's just so we have a total, so the hostess will know how many people are coming, how much to prepare. And it's a beautiful, a beautiful thought that she had, a beautiful idea. And we've had some really good response. So what we want Kina to do is share what's coming up, so women that are listening can be thinking about it. Maybe mark your calendar, watch for the invitation online,
Yes.
and register for it.
Well, the next 2 events that we have open that are scheduled on the books is January 18th and January 15th. January 18th will be Cuban cuisine, and some of the ladies in the audience may know Ida Brown, very sweet lady. She will be teaching us Cuban cuisine. Now, her space is limited to 6 at her table. So as soon as it goes online, you need to register if you know for sure that you will be attending. If you find out once you've registered that you can't, please kindly go ahead and contact us and remove your name, so that opens up space for another lady. But she will go ahead and prepare the food, show us how to cook Cuban cuisine. We'll be able to sample it, fellowship, and she'll also give her salvation testimony. And then on the 15th of January, Moments at My Table is not always about gathering together and learning about how to cook a meal. It's also learning how to do something that maybe someone has a passion about. And Cammie will be doing an event called Separate and Saturate. And maybe Cammie would like to go ahead and expound on that for us.
Sure, I'd love to. I felt like we were doing news anchoring. Back to you, Cammie. I've always wanted to do that. I'm going to
You
start
did good.
doing that. Back to you, Betty.
Back to you, Cammie.
So separate and saturate. This is a new concept to me that I was able to learn from another woman. In fact, Renee Duncan, who be on next week. So please tune into that show. But she held a very small gathering and taught multi-generations, young girls to all the way up to older women. This new, I guess it wasn't new to her, but anyhow, what you do is you take apart a Bible. Now stay with me here. I know that sounds terrible, but you separate the Bible into 4 equal sections, and it's got to be a particular version of the Bible so that the books separate correctly. But essentially you rebound those into 4 different sections. And the idea is that you would carry a smaller section around with you of God's Word all of the time. So now you've separated the Bible, but now you're saturating yourself in the Word. And the idea is to read it through like a novel. So this isn't for highlighting and taking notes and a real in-depth study. It's simply to carry around with you so that you can just be washed in the Word consistently and just read it through. And let me tell you, when you hit Leviticus, you just want to remember, just keep reading. So I've really enjoyed it and definitely noticed a difference. And exactly like she said, what you'll find is when you hear verses referenced in church or in a sermon or what have you, you may not remember all the verses you've read, but you recall that you've read it. And that's really the idea. So we're going to be hosting that at my house. Would love to have you join us. We're going to have all of the supplies there for you to create this little set of books, and you can kind of distribute them throughout your family you like and trade sections as you finish them. But kind of a neat little concept that I just want to pay it forward, if you will, and show other women how to do.
And I do want to mention that for each of these dates, moments at my table, there is a small fee. And the fee varies depending on what is being served or prepared. So you'll just have to read the invitation, read it completely, and it will tell you what the charge will be. And you do not pay online. You pay at the door, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. And there is no child care.
There is no
right?
child care.
Okay.
Right. And also, too, it's for multi-generational.
Yeah.
And if you have a daughter in high school that wants to come with you and learn about either cooking or learn about separate and saturate, she sure is welcome to attend, because we want this to be a multi-generational event.
And there's a lot of good conversation. So far, I've been with women that I have met briefly, so I've gotten to know them better. And there's always lots of laughter. It's lots of fun. It's a good time.
Yes.
So what's happening in February? Do you have that one?
February, we had tentatively scheduled, but the person that was going to do that, some incidents came up, so we have to postpone hers till later on in 2018. But we do have March. Oh, I think it's Betty. Yes, it is.
Oh, is it me?
Yes, in March is Betty. She'll be doing...
Oh, the 1,000 different uses for a rotisserie chicken.
Really?
Yes.
Yay.
Take that Costco chicken. Yeah.
I love Costco's rotisserie chicken.
Oh.
They're cheap. I can't buy it and cook it as cheap.
That's for sure. Those are the best.
I think so.
I
have
hate
one in
having
my
to throw it
refrigerator right
away,
now.
But do you?
Yes. I'm going to use it tonight.
Ooh,
What are you
very good.
making?
Tonight, I am making oven-baked chicken tacos. And that's going to be one of the things I'm going to show how to make.
I think we need to stop by her house tonight.
Uh-huh. Let's see. Yep.
Well, no, come to a moment at my table. That's one of the things I'm going to be showing you how to make.
Oh, very good.
And I've been
very
trying to decide if I'm going to do chicken and dumplings or a chicken pot pie.
I think both.
I haven't decided. And I am going to do chicken enchilada casserole. So there's 4 things.
That
Very
sounds so
good.
good.
Show him how to take the chicken and use it.
And then I'm also going to show them how to take the bones and make chicken broth.
Oh,
Their own
very
chicken
good.
broth.
For
and how to
good
freeze
soups
it.
and stuff. And how to freeze it. Very good.
I'm going to tell them that you can take Costco's chicken and just put it straight in the freezer. I do that all the time. And then you just take it out and let it thaw and heat it up and cook it.
Really? That's a great idea. Then you can buy a couple at a time versus just the one, huh?
That's what I do.
Yes.
So now you've got all my ideas and all my plans for March.
I'm going to tell you how fancy I am, because here's what happens at my house when I bring home a Costco chicken. If it doesn't really have a plan, forks come out, the lid comes off.
You start eating.
It's not pretty. Michaela used to want a chicken for her bus trips for volleyball. So I literally would bring her a chicken and a fork. And that was her
all she
snack on
needed.
the bus.
Very good. Very good.
Sometimes that's the best way.
Hey, I couldn't argue that it was a bad choice. So
Yes.
Okay, April. Do you have Aprils?
April will be Miss Deb Bronson. She'll be showing us how to make homemade bread and homemade jams and jellies.
Oh, man.
I've always been afraid to make bread. I've always afraid I couldn't do it right.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
It's so rewarding. It's one of those things. It's like once you've accomplished a loaf of bread, you feel
It smells good.
very
It
accomplished.
smells
Yes.
good. It smells your house up. It makes us, and it makes you want to eat it.
Yes.
Wonder what kind of jam she's going to make.
I don't know. She'll surprise us.
She's a good cook.
Yes, she is.
So, Kina, if there's a woman listening that would be interested in hosting a Moments at her table, would they contact you? Could she do that? Or you, Betty?
It would probably be easier if she contacted me.
Okay.
My email is Betty, ACWM@gmail.com.
Okay.
That'd probably be the easiest way.
Or through the website.
It will still come to me.
Great. There you go.
Why do you guys think it's difficult for us to invite other women into our homes?
Ooh, I think comparison can automatically be there. If you go in and she has everything together, it looks nice, or out of Pinterest, I don't know, or Magnolia Farms, whatever, that we can automatically put something on that lady who doesn't deserve that. It doesn't matter what home God has blessed you with, and that is a hard one sometimes for me, but it doesn't matter what type of home you've been blessed with, whether it's apartment space, a trailer, or a home or a townhome. In Romans, and this is where we take it from, Romans 12:13, is take every opportunity to open your life and your home to others. So just opening your home and letting the lady be able to love on you, whoever's opening their home. And then I think there's another fold is the one that's going or attending, going to another woman's house, that we don't make her feel bad because maybe she doesn't offer a big spread. Maybe she offers carrots and celery and dip, popcorn and Kool-Aid, I always say. It doesn't matter. She's invited you in to spend time with her, just to fellowship. So we need to take those opportunities to take time to love on one another and invest time in one another, and be intentional of meeting together.
Yeah, that's kind of a lost art, if you will, these days, I think, for the younger generation. I don't know. I mean, you're involved in 907 Moms, Betty, and you're a little bit better acquainted with the younger generation of women. Do you find that they do this?
Invite people into their homes?
Yeah, do they
Yes.
kind of share? That's great.
They do a lot of play dates, and they'll meet during the day and have other kids over. But I find that they also do it in the evenings. Maybe not as often during the evenings, because that's when their husbands are home, but they do it occasionally. And I think they enjoy it. I know when I have the leadership team to my house, they seem to enjoy coming over there.
And I wonder if it just changes, as kids get older, because I think back to when our kids were littler, that was very common. And as they get older, for whatever reason, it just seems like that fades out a little bit. Maybe it's just
Yes.
busyness of teenagers and shuffling people around. You just don't have that time to share in each other's homes. But it's definitely some of the funnest times that we have is when we have a house full of people, or even just a few.
Yes.
I do think that it is. I grew up eating dinner at the dinner table. That's just the way we did it. That's where we talked about our days and what was coming up and what was happening in our lives. And it seems like that kind of maybe fell away by the wayside for a while. But I do think it's making a comeback. If I can put it that way. A lot of families are really now doing their best to spend more time together, to put their families at the forefront, to have dinner on the table, even if it's a peanut butter sandwich or a bowl of cereal. They're trying to sit down at the table and spend that time as a family, those 20 or 25 minutes.
Good.
What's that, Kina?
I said that's good. Communicating and sitting down and what's going on in each other's lives. Yes.
One of the things that I read or heard about probably a little over a year ago, but it was just such great advice, I just want to share it, is at the table, that is not the time to comment or criticize. on anybody in the family. So it's a good time just to let people just say what they want to say, given it's appropriate, of course. But, being a parent, you want to use those opportunities to counsel and give direction. That is not the time necessarily to do it. I don't know if you ladies would agree with that, because I guess sometimes that might be a great time to do that. But I found that to be pretty good advice.
I don't. I'm trying to remember if we had arguments at the table. When the children were little, I'm sure that we had their fusses. She touched this or he touched that. Make them stop. Or, I wanted that biscuit. You took that biscuit. But as a rule, I think what we did was when they were all at home, we just talked about the day, what had happened the day, and how much homework they had, what was school like that day, and it was the time when their dad talked about his day, and we kind of just set aside 25, 30 minutes to focus on being a family, focus on each other. And that's what I like about moments at my table, whereas we're not really, it's not a family, but it's a group of women coming together. You have the potential to be really good friends, and we talk, while the hostess is demonstrating how to create a dish or make a dish. Everybody's listening, but we're still talking among each other. But then when we go to the dinner table to sit down and sample what has been made, then the hostess has the opportunity to share her testimony, share what her life was like, what a difference God has made in her life. And I don't know, just kind of, I think it's a great happening. I don't know what else to call it, but I think it's a great time to get to know people, to have women into your home. It's a great way to be hospitable.
Yes, very much.
Cina, I want to ask you just before we move away from that. I know we're kind of talking about two different things. We're talking about families gathering at their table, but then also inviting women in. But Cina, I know that you can relate to, having kids in sports and busy schedules. How did you maintain that quality time around the table, or was that difficult for you to do as well?
It was difficult at times, but during basketball season, because I have 3 boys, they all played basketball. And at one time, they were all in high school together. So those times were paper plates. So I would cook the meal, but we would sit at the table for maybe it was only 20 minutes. And we'd eat, and it'd be paper plates. So it wouldn't be, let's hurry up, let's take off and go to the game, and then come back and we have a whole sink full of dishes. I would only have to clean the one pot, mostly crock pot. We called it dump the dinner, dump everything in the crock pot, and that was dinner, and eat off of paper plates, for that time being. And I was glad my husband was okay with that.
That's a good tip.
I still use paper plates.
Okay.
I'm out of paper plates.
Oh. I don't know what to do when I run out.
I need to get some more.
I've gotten so lazy. So lazy. I know when all of my kids were home and they were in sports, we couldn't always sit down every night
Right.
For dinner. But we tried our best to at least make it 3 nights a week. And it sometimes was not a full meal. Like I said, it might have been cereal or
breakfast for dinner.
Yeah, breakfast for dinner, which my family loves, by the way.
My family
One
does
of their,
too.
One of their favorites. And, and sometimes maybe the nights that we could not sit down for dinner, maybe when we got home from the game or whatever, we would try and take a few minutes as a family just to chat, just to reconnect with each other.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything formal or fancy. No. It might have just been in the living room where we're all taking off our shoes or putting our coats away. It's just, real quick, how was your day? How did things go?
How do you think, this is probably a tired old topic, but it's relevant to what we're talking about. How do you think technology and devices have played into dinner at the table?
Wow.
It depends
or
on
the lack thereof.
It depends on if you, as a parent, I believe, get things early and what's not allowed at the table. Let's focus on one another and talk about one another and what's your high today, what's your low today, and the devices can stay away. One time I had a tea party for some girls at the table when my daughter was in high school, and they came at 8 o'clock. We put all the cell phones on the counter, and they were all turned off, and they sat there and talked almost till 3 a.m. I was amazed. I had to keep making scones and tea, but they just fellowshipped and sat around the table and talked. And me and this other mom, we kind of laid in the living room floor and took a nap.
Kind of.
But you got them to talking face to face.
Yes.
And that's another thing that I like about Moments at My Table. The women are talking.
Yes.
Nobody has been on their cell phones. They've either left them in their purse or in their pocket, but everybody's talking to each other.
Yeah, I really think that women they're thirsty for this today, and they just don't really know where to start, and this is a great starting point.
And anybody can do this. I mean, they don't have to go to Moments at My Table. We had a group that just launched out in the Valley, and they're calling it Sharing Your Passion. And they got together this past weekend and made pies. And when they made pies, they went ahead and also took some of the pies and donated it to a community center event. And they were able to also take a pie home. And then we're hoping, and we don't know how it will go, but it will go from Moments at My Table to Moments at Our Table, where periodically it could be husband and wives coming together and also sharing a meal, and maybe that hostess or host, the man, can go ahead and share his testimony.
What a great vision for how you can carry that forward and just into other aspects.
Do you have other dates? I know we've got as far as what, March?
April.
Okay, do we have May?
May, we're still pending on a pie person.
A pie person.
Yes.
Not me. Not me. I don't know I do know how to make pie crust, but not very well. I'm sorry, I use Pillsbury.
There's nothing wrong with those.
And
They're pretty
you
good.
need to.
That's right.
And, really quick, I was watching some cooking show on TV yesterday, and they used Pillsbury pie crust.
Did they? See,
Yes.
You're validated.
Made me feel better.
That's right. We want to thank you so much for joining us again today for another Living Well program. And once again, you can find us here every Wednesday at 1 p.m. on KATB 89.3 in Anchorage, as well as KJLP 88.9 in Palmer. Also find us online at katb.org, or look us up on our Facebook page at Living Well Radio. Again, we want to thank you so much for setting aside this time to join us. We hope that you'll check out this Moments at My Table under Alaska Christian Women's Ministries website. Get signed
and Facebook page.
Yeah, come check us out. We'd love to meet you.
Yes, we would.
We'll see you next Wednesday.